Let's begin in the Western Cape, where newly formed informal settlements in Cape Town or residents in those informal settlements have now embarked on a shutdown. In fact, they've closed some major national routes. A stretch of about 8 kilometers on the N2, for instance, is currently closed off. That's where we find Nasiphi tracking the story for us as it happens. She joins us now live. So, Nasiphi, of course, we've been with you for the greater part of the early morning. We've seen moments of volatility. Give us an idea of what the situation is looking like there now.
Well, it's still relatively calm now, but at the moment, I think everything is still up in the air. As we heard from one of the community leaders of COVID-19 informal settlement earlier on, he did say that they will continue with their shutdown up until a government official comes to them and says that this is what we are promising you. And we do know that the various informal settlements in and around Khayelitsha that were newly established at the heart of COVID-19 are demanding that national and local government provide them with a decent sanitation, water, including electricity. But the top of the demand list is water and electricity. And the community leader, we know that is currently meeting with other leaders from the pandemic informal settlement, including Makaza. Those are just a few of the informal settlements that have embarked on the shutdown that started in the wee hours of Thursday morning. And basically all the major routes, including the N2, the R300, Spine Road, including Bowden-Powell, have been closed off. And I'll just ask my colleague to show you N2, which is usually very busy at this time. It's very quiet. It's been closed off all the way from the R300 all the way to Bowden-Powell, which is a stretch of about 8 kilometers plus. We know that the leaders currently are meeting, and we know that there's going to be a delegation of about 10 leaders that will be meeting with the city of Cape Town, hoping that they'll be able to twist the arm of the city of Cape Town and actually cave into the demands of the various informal settlements. But the community leader that we spoke to this morning did say that they have engaged the city of Cape Town by sending a letter of, a memorandum of demands to them, including the portfolio committee in Parliament for Section 25, amending Section 25, and they have not received a response from them in about 25 days, and that is basically the outcome of the lack of response from officials.
Right. It's quite a remarkable scene, Nasiphi, considering the time of day it is. I mean, the road where you're standing is incredibly busy on any other day. But help us better contextualize the story. The informal settlement is called COVID-19. Suggests to me it's pretty recent. What is the circumstances surrounding the mushrooming of this informal settlement, if that is even the right descriptive word to use?
Well, the people that are living in some of these communities, like pandemic informal settlement, COVID-19, sanitizer and the likes, these were people that were living in people's backyards, basically renting. And because of the lockdown, many people had lost their jobs and weren't able to afford the rent, which ultimately led to them occupying vacant pieces of lands. And what they are saying now is that they want government to recognize them, and that will mean that government, if government recognizes them, they will then provide the basic services in their communities. So it's going to be a battle between law enforcement officials and the residents for a very long time, because the residents are saying that they're not going to be backing down. I mean, they woke up at 3 o'clock and 1 o'clock this morning to embark on the shutdown, and all the major routes leading into Khayelitsha from the N2 have been shut down, and many of the taxis had to use back routes to enter into Khayelitsha. So moving into Khayelitsha using the N2 is very, very difficult, and even going through the N2, it's mission impossible rather. So the community leaders are saying that once government has recognized them, even though they are illegal occupants of the vacant pieces of land, they are still residents of South Africa, and they would like the basic minimum services to be provided for their communities.
All right, Nasiphi, thanks very much indeed. Along a stretch of the N2 highway in Cape Town near Khayelitsha. Once again, really remarkable scenes there considering how busy that route typically is around this time of the morning.